neither one of us felt like the marriage should get in the way of our dating.
Actress Gabrielle Union has recently made some unbelievable statements about her first marriage. Before tying the knot with Dwyane Wade, she was married to former NFL player Chris Howard from 2001 to 2006. She discussed their relationship in a recent conversation on the Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard podcast, and what she said about it shocked everyone. Gabrielle first brought the topic up after Dax talked about his feelings of guilt over his cheating past. She told Dax that her marriage to Chris was dysfunctional from day one, and then she added that she wouldn't exactly be getting Wife of the Year awards herself. After what Dax had just told her, this really got people curious to hear what Gabrielle had done. She said that in her first marriage, neither she nor Chris felt like it should get in the way of their dating other people. And if this wasn't crazy enough, she went on to double down on her remarks. She explained it by saying that a part of her behavior in the marriage was an attempt to keep up with what Chris was getting up to. She said she would often think, oh, that's what you're doing, you're going to feel this one. But she also admitted that she simply felt entitled to date people other than her husband, which is obviously a pretty unusual thing for any partner to feel entitled to, and her reason for feeling this way was just as bizarre. Gabrielle said that she felt excused because she was paying all the bills. She was working so hard at that point in her career that she felt like she should get what comes with that, which she called the spoils of riches. Basically, she felt that as the maid breadwinner in the house, she was allowed to do whatever she wanted. And honestly, she's definitely not the only person in the world who feels this way. In fact, Gabrielle said that it was something she had learned from her dad, who apparently felt the same way. And although she might not have the same outlook now as she did back then, that didn't mean that she felt very bad about how she acted. In fact, she told Dax that she actually wished she felt more guilty about her behavior during her first marriage. But in reality, she apparently felt that it was such a stupid relationship that it should never have led to marriage at all. So I guess this meant that she didn't think it mattered if she dated outside of the marriage, since she thought that it was doomed from the start. Although she has previously gone on record saying that she thought at one point that she had found her happily ever after with Chris, but looking back years later, she admitted that at the time, she just wanted to be married, period. She said in a 2014 interview that in her 20s, she was all about getting the ring. She also reflected that she spent much of her marriage feeling upset. From the very start, she noticed signs telling her that things were not going to work out. She even said that he failed on the proposal, which she described as tacky. Having first met at a party in 1999, the couple later dated for 2 years before Chris popped the question. However, in her 2017 memoir titled "We're Going to Need More Wine," Gabrielle wrote that it was anything but romantic. She wrote that she'd spent the whole day at the spa, and when she got back to Chris's house, she found a rose petal path from the front door to the bedroom, and at the end of the path, she found Chris down on one knee. To be honest, this probably sounded pretty romantic to a lot of Gabrielle's readers, but the next detail was pretty shocking. Next to Chris, Gabrielle claimed was a bucket of KFC on the floor, and she alleged that Chris was actually eating KFC potato wedges with one hand while holding the ring in the other. So it's pretty understandable that Gabrielle thought he could have done better, but things quickly got much worse. Gabrielle claimed that less than 24 hours after the proposal, she discovered a message on Chris's computer. The message apparently hinted at an affair. Despite this red flag, Gabrielle decided to continue with the engagement, but on the day of the wedding, she said that several more red flags appeared, which put doubts in her mind. The wedding took place in New Orleans near the party center of Bourbon Street. This led to Gabrielle's bridesmaids turning up to the wedding hungover. One of the groomsmen even arrived fresh out of jail, according to the actress. Obviously, this could really put a damper on any bride's special day, but things got even more intense during a reading from one of Gabrielle's friends. She had actor Dwyane Wade do a reading despite the fact that he was actually against the marriage, which was something he made very clear during his reading. Gabrielle wrote that Dwyane thought that she was making a terrible mistake and kept pausing and sighing during his part. She claimed that he would even look up at her as if to say, "Are you getting this?" This, combined with the fact that the minister kept getting her name wrong, made Gabrielle look back at the wedding as a really bad start, and things did not get better. After that first hint hours after the proposal, Gabrielle kept finding more evidence of Chris's cheating. One woman he was allegedly with was known as Cameron Camera. She threatened to sell photos that showed Chris being unfaithful to tabloids in an attempt to extort him. Shortly after this, Gabrielle had had enough. The couple separated in 2005 and got officially divorced in 2006. In an appearance on Red Table Talk, Gabrielle told Jada Pinkett Smith that she hit rock bottom during this time. But she has also been reported to have said that when she got divorced, she came to a big realization. She said that she realized that she had not been making sound choices. Gabrielle didn't share a lot of information about the divorce in her memoir. However, she did make it clear that she hasn't gotten a prenup with Chris, which was something she regretted. She also said of the breakup that the reason Chris loved her became the reason he hated her, which was kind of hard to make sense of. Whatever she meant, it was definitely the case that the marriage had way too many toxic elements to continue. But for a lot of fans, this was not enough to justify Gabrielle's remarks on the Armchair Expert podcast. In fact, many of them were furious to hear her say she felt entitled to cheat on her husband. Gabrielle was blasted on social media, with many people branding her toxic. They said that staying faithful in a marriage had nothing to do with finances. One person tweeted that cheating wasn't about money, but about values and respect. Several men made the claim that if the roles were flipped and Chris had said what Gabrielle did, there would have been an uproar. However, other people thought that the admission was just as hurtful to women. One person tweeted that after Gabrielle's comments, cheating men who pay the bills were smiling and licking their lips. And it's definitely true that it would be horrific if hearing Gabrielle's admission made anyone feel empowered to cheat on their partner. But maybe it would be unfair to lay the blame at her feet for being honest about her past, especially considering the fact that no one in that marriage was innocent. One person even pointed this out on Twitter. They wrote that it was wild that all the headlines about Gabrielle only mentioned her unfaithfulness, rather than pointing out how dysfunctional the entire relationship was. However, this view wasn't shared by anyone. One person tweeted that from the outside looking in, Gabrielle just seemed like a terrible woman. But what do you guys think? Is Gabrielle brave for opening up about her failed first marriage, or do her actions make her a bad person? Let me know in the comments below.